Alright then my friends, we've just tapped into the fun part of building a website, the CSS. Okay, what are the basic ways we can add CSS to our HTML documents to make it look beautiful? We have the inline styling, internal styling, and the external styling. In a short while, I'm going to be explaining all of these to you. But first, let us talk about what CSS is. CSS is Cascading Style Sheet. It describes the visual style and presentation of the content written in HTML. This is an image I got from media.com, a post by Readerzo on 10 concepts of HTML basics. It talks a lot on how our HTML, CSS and JavaScript work together. Our HTML is just the skeleton, but when we add our CSS to it, it beautifies it and gives it a shape. Adding JavaScript to it would make it dynamic. This is an example of how CSS is written. In this case, our H1 is our selector, and the write-ups we see in these curly braces are the styles being given to our HTML tag, the H1. When declaring a style in CSS, the property comes first before the value. In this case, our text align is the property, while center is the value, making our H1 to appear as the center of the container it is in. Now that we are quite familiar with our CSS, let us look at how the inline styling is done and how it differs from the other types of styling. Inline CSS is a type of CSS styling process in which we write inside the opening tag of an element. For example, we want to style this our H1 element displaying the text Edu-Champs with an inline style to make the text appear red. What we have to do is impute the style attribute inside the opening tag of our H1 element and equate it to the color property of red. So in this case, color is our property and the value of our color is red. Hence, this text Edu-Champs will display as red. Internal CSS style type is when we write the CSS code inside the style tag. The only difference between an internal styling and the external styling is the fact that internal styles are written in the style tag, whereas our external styles are written in an entirely separate file. In the internal style, we make use of the selector, property and value as well. As you can see, our H1 element has been given a new font size which overrides the default font size of 2em, making it appear smaller compared to before. External CSS is written in a different file and it has to be saved using .css. We can use other names when we want to save our CSS file, but we should never forget to put .css at the end, else your work would not work. Example on how to save CSS files include design.css, style.css. But note, it is not limited to just these names. You can use any name you want to use, but always remember to save your file with the .css extension. And it is recommended to do most of your work using external CSS, as it eliminates confusion when working with bigger projects.